Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube famous now. I don't know, maybe I need to go to a psychic and have them tell me, are you going anywhere? Am I going anywhere? Where's everybody going? I asked that in my YouNow stream the other day. I go, what's that line from? Where's everybody going? And everybody knew it was from The Rose. Did you guys ever see that movie, The Rose? I have something very important to talk about today. Listen. I have had it with these TV psychics, okay? Now, I have dedicated a rather large part of my life to watching television psychics. I'm not ashamed to say. Let's throw some light up on that topic for a second. I am not ashamed to say that I do love a good Sylvia Browne. Okay, I don't love Cleo, the phone psychic at 1-800-CALL-YOUR-PSYCHIC or whatever, but we all know she's a gyp of the world. But anyway, so I was thinking about this last night because I was going through my DVR. Y'all have DVR, right? I mean, you have to have DVR today. It's just, how do you live without DVR? So anyway, I was going through there, and Alex is like, can I delete any of these shows? And I was like, yes, that Chris Lee knows best. You can delete all those. I can't stand that and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, he was like, do you still watch that Tyler Henry? And I was like, no, delete those. Why are those even on there? And he was like, why don't you like him anymore? And I go, he is so foolish. I go, he is not even a real psychic at all. Well, first of all, my husband, he doesn't believe in psychics at all, so he just completely laughed. He was like, well, what psychic is real? And I just looked at him like, are you absolutely foolish? There are so many real psychics out there in the world. I have been to some very good psychics, okay? Dave at New Age People in Indianapolis, I've talked about him a lot, changed my life, okay? Now listen, I did a whole videos about that. If you want to go hear about it, you can go watch my vlog. I don't remember what vlog it is, and you can go, I did videos about it before. So anyway, but true story, back in the day, every Wednesday on Montel Williams, Sylvia Browne was up on there, okay? Do you remember Sylvia Browne with the long fingernails? Sound like she smoked about 10 packs of rags a day. Well, Montel, let me tell you something. She'd like say something, and she'd just sit there like this in the audience. I mean, she looked like everybody's grandma, right? I loved her. I was like, are we meeting at Ryan's buffet for, you know, some meat tips on the weekend, grandma, and some mashed potatoes? Anyway, my grandma loved that MCL. Do you guys have MCL where you live? She'd say, and I would say to my mom, why do we always have to go to dinner at MCL? My mom would go, oh, grandma loves to pick out her own food. Well, don't you do that at any restaurant you go to? But my grandma would always get like the turkey with like the mashed potatoes with like dressing and then like gravy all over them, and then a side of apple pie, and always the Jell-O cubes. Always the Jell-O cubes, right? I liked a good pecan pie myself, but anyway, in the fried chicken meal. But that's beside the point. My ex and I, we would tape, yes, tape, because we didn't have DVR back then. We would tape record Montel Williams every Wednesday when Sylvia Browne was on there, and I adored her, okay? Now, let me tell you how this has all started for me, because you need to know a little background history with me and old Sylvia. She's no longer with us. She's up on the other side now, and she actually wrote a book called The Other Side and Back, so she was, I'm sure, very well prepared for what she was going to see when she went over there. But anyway, back in the day, when I first got sober, I really struggled with the idea of dying, okay? It was a huge fear of mine. And so I talked to some people, and they said, go find a book that will help you with your fear. And so I went to the bookstore and I looked around, and I found Sylvia Browne's The Other Side and Back, okay? And it talks about how you work with spirit guides, and you plan a blueprint for your life, and that deja vu in your life is actually when at that exact moment, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, hey, dude, I can get down with all this. Like this, I totally relate to this, right? I mean, I was a Sylvia Browne junkie from the get, okay? Loved her, right? Watched her religiously, okay? Loved her. Montel, let me tell you something. Michael Jackson's gonna live until he's 95. He's gonna continue to be putting albums out with Whitney Houston. I mean, her psychic abilities were so bad. I mean, so bad, all right? But I just sat there and just like ate it up left and right. Drank fountain pops, loved it. Couldn't stop watching Sylvia Browne, right? Until it came out what a fraud she was. I mean, I believed all that kind of stuff because none of it happened yet, right? She would do her year predictions a year in advance, and none of them came true a year later, and I'd be like, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, I love Sylvia, I love Sylvia. So anyway, But the one I couldn't deal with was this. And if you go look at it up on the YouTube, which you're on YouTube right now, so you might as well, is if you look up Sylvia Brown as a fraud, it shows up everywhere. And it's the one where the woman in the asks, I still don't know how my husband died. Can you let me know and tell me? And she goes, he died in water. And she goes, the woman in the audience goes, excuse me? She goes, he drowned in water. And the woman says to Sylvia, she goes, my husband was a firefighter in 9/11. He died in the building. She goes, exactly, water from a water hose. Doesn't miss a beat, okay? I will never forget to this day, my ex and I, Sean, looking at each other and we're like, it's over. Like, I mean, it's over. Water? So anyway, I was devastated. I mean, to tell you, I just was like, I can't watch another psychic on TV. I'm done, right? Until John Edward came along. And he's cute, too. Let me tell you, John Edward in those tight jeans and the sweaters walking across the stage, I mean, he's everywhere, right? Ooh, he's kind of cute. I even read his books and everything. I mean, he's not like conventionally cute, but he's kind of like that professor that you have, that when you walk in the first day of class, you're like, why can't I get a good, cute professor just once that I can come to class to? But by the end of the semester, you're like, he is so good, right? That's how John Edward is. So John Edward, I would watch him and all this kind of stuff, but he just got real boring after a while, you know, and he always, but I really thought he was kind of point on about stuff, and then there was all these fraudulent stories about him that came out, and I don't believe. So then I stopped watching the psychics again, okay, until, are you ready? My all-time favorite psychic of all time. You know who it is, don't you? I still love her to this day, and everybody says that she's the biggest fake. She's not my all-time favorite right now. I'll tell you about my all-time favorite last, okay? We'll save the best for last. I mean, we should always save the best for last, right? That's like the pecan pie. You don't eat your pecan pie before the chicken meal, right? So anyway, so my favorite back in the day was Teresa Caputo, the Long Island medium. Oh! Those nails and the Louboutins and everything, and she does the group readings. Loved her so much. You cannot Google her name now with 9 million fraudulent stories coming up and all this kind of stuff about how she had a team of people that would call ahead of time and all this kind of stuff. No, baby, that's not psychic. That's smart, okay? But I want to see a psychic that's real. If you ever call a psychic on the phone to schedule an appointment and they want to know your last name, don't go to them. Don't waste your money. It's not worth it. It just isn't, right? This fool that I went up to off of 74 in Indiana, this old lady, I went into her house, she smoked cigarettes through the whole thing, and her grandbaby was sitting in the other room, and she keep on coming in there and going, Grandma, is it time to play yet? She go, not yet, baby doll, but just in a second, I'm with a client. I guess I was the client. An hour, she taped it to me. She never, I went there specifically to get a message from my mother. Not once did she even mention the fact that my mother had passed away. I was like, this gal, she don't know what she's doing. She's a good babysitter, but she don't know what she's doing. $100 for that. What a bunch of junk. So anyway, now Dave at New Age People, he's $20 for 20 minutes, and he gave me everything I wanted to know within the first 20 minutes. I was sobbing, I knew her, all kind. Anyway, that's beside the point. But I love Teresa Caputo, I loved her kids, I love the story. That was what was so great about that show, right? Was there was a story about all of it. And how can you not like Teresa Caputo, okay? She loves to eat, she's got lots of friends. I mean, I didn't really care so much for the saging of the house and all that kind of stuff, but you know, it's part of the gig. When you're a psychic, you gotta sage and all that kind of stuff. But, oh, and when Petey the dog died, that just broke my heart. But I thought, girl, it's not like you gotta miss him because he's gonna be right there for you, right? I mean, because not everybody else can see him. She's crying a river over Petey dying, which just broke my heart. I mean, I have had pets die before. It breaks my heart. But if you're truly a psychic that connects with everybody on the other side, wouldn't you see Petey on a daily basis? I didn't get it. So anyway, don't come for me in the comment section. Listen, I'm just thinking this through, okay? Rationally. So, okay. So then everybody says she's fraudulent. Now, I ain't seen her show in months. Is she coming back? Did they cancel her? She ain't gonna be able to buy any more, you know, Escalades and Hermes belts for her son, and no more Louboutins and Louis Vuitton purses. I mean, she spent every cent of her psychic. You couldn't get an appointment for years, right? Now, listen. Okay, then comes in my next favorite TV psychic of all time, who I'm going to talk about in a second. But before that, I want to talk about Tyler Henry, okay? Tyler Henry is hands down the Jip of the world, all right? First of all, they ought to call him Tyler the Twink, okay? Because he is totally the epitome of this young thing. And what I just don't, like, I just can't with him, okay? First of all, what kills me is know your history. He shows up at Boy George's house, and he is like, he was like, and Boy George said something like, you don't know who I am, or whatever. He's like, oh no, I have no idea. You don't know who fucking Boy George is? Karma, chameleon. He doesn't know who anybody is. Never, right? But for him to be the Hollywood medium, he has to not know who anybody is. So what is he? Never watch TV, never open a magazine, never read a magazine. He has no friends. He's completely boring. He just sits at home with his mom and does these psychic readings and scribbles on a piece of paper. I cannot watch him, okay? And his stuff is so vague. Like, he'll hold this watch and he'll say, I feel like somebody died a long time ago. Oh my God, Khloe Kardashian loses it. Okay, this is when I had enough of Tyler Henry, is when he is looking at Khloe Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, and he looks at both of them and he goes, I feel like a guy has come into the picture and dated two sisters. And I thought, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're supposed to get with this, okay, for real? And then, if you read all of these articles about him, how he's the Gyp of the century, which I totally believe that he is. I don't believe he's one bit psychic, not once. He's like supposedly like a medical missionary psychic and all this kind of stuff, but all these articles are like, if Tyler Henry is such the medical missionary psychic or whatever he calls himself, why isn't he saving the world? Why is he saving Hollywood? A true story. I'd like to know the same damn thing, okay? I've never once seen him do a medical reading on there. Maybe once or something. He talked about Margaret Cho and how she's thinking about starting a marijuana smoking business or something. I don't even know what that's all about. But anyway, so I'm, watching these shows, and I'm just like, he just gets more and more foolish, and the stars just get bigger and bigger in popularity of who they are, and he just sits there and he's like, I don't know who you are. I can't, okay? With the swoop hairdo and all of it, he looks like the boy on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that said, I want to be a dentist. That's who Tyler Henry looks like, okay? I cannot look at that elf wanting to be a psychic. I just can't, all right? I just can't. And nothing that he has ever said has been that profound. So now let's go to my favorite TV psychic of all time, okay? And I love her because she's a real ass gal. I want a reading from this girl like nobody's business. Listen, okay? Have y'all watched Monica the Medium? This girl is the real deal. And her parents don't even believe that she's a psychic. That's what I love about it so much. The people around her, they cannot be bothered that she's a psychic. They do not care. Her roommates are like, that Krista girl that's her best friend, oh my God, cracks my shit up. I love watching the show. That Krista girl is like, Monica, I know you got all kinds of readings, but girl, there's a bunch of cute boys down at the bar. Can we go have some drinks and get our drink on? Monica, it's spring break. We need to go put our bikinis on. That Krista girl is like hands down the best friend in the entire world. She is like her good Judy all day long. See, now Monica the Medium got a show because she's a psychic. I need a show just because, and then I got a good Judy already. So I got a Krista because I got Tanya. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let me tell you something, Deandra. Let me tell you something about this Monica the Medium, okay? She is so fine, flawless with her psychic abilities. Her readings are so on point. Now that is how I felt about John Edward when I first started watching him. She will literally be in a parking lot and she'll be like, I'm feeling like I'm kind of being pulled to her over there, right? And she'll go over to some girl and they'll show the whole thing. And if she doesn't ask any questions or anything, she'll say, I'm a psychic medium. Do you mind if I tell you some things? You're getting a message from the other side or whatever she says. I can't imagine going up to somebody and saying that anywhere. So, bless her all day long for all that. Doesn't ask for a cent of it, right? And she'll say, your grandma's coming over. Her name started with a CH. I think it was Chloe. She died in 92 from heart disease. And she used to own an Apple store. And she always wore pink, no other color. And they're just like this. I cannot believe it. This girl is so on point. Like, I cannot tell you how many contests I have entered to get a free reading from Monica the Medium because you can't get one, okay? Her waiting list is like 10 years long. Nobody watches her. I cannot tell you how many times I've told people, they're like, I have no idea who that is. I'm like, do you know who Teresa Caputo is? Oh yeah, the Long Island Medium. Do you know who Tyler Henry is? Oh my God, I love Tyler Henry. Really? The elf from Rudolph Psychic Readings. And then the best psychic ever, if you want to know the truth, is me on my YouNow stream. Because I go on my YouNow stream and I do horribly hopeless psychic readings and people just eat them up all day long. They say things like, oh, will I get my dream job? And I say, oh, not likely. Looks like you'll be on unemployment forever. I love it. It's so funny and people just eat it up. But I do love those good TV psychics. Well, we need another good TV psychic out there. And Monica the Medium, she needs to be on year round. I love her. And she finally got her a cute ass boyfriend. And I love them together and I follow her Instagram and and I follow. Monica, I want a free reading from you, girl. You are the real deal. And she is so sweet and all of that kind of stuff. The only thing I don't like is that she wears the same necklace line every single time. Same jewelry line every single time. I don't care for all that. But I love her so much. You guys got to go watch Monica the Medium. But the rest of it, just a bunch of shit. I was so devastated with that Sylvia Brown. Montel? She didn't sound like that. Who's going to be our next president, Sylvia? He would ask her questions like that. She'd say, well, I think it's going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger next year, Montel. All my spirits are telling me from the other side it's going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Shit. Sylvia. Anyway, who's your favorite psychic, TV psychic? Do you guys watch them? Oh my God. If you do, leave it in the comment section below. I want to know who your favorite is, okay? I want to know who your favorite psychic of all time, and don't put Sylvia Brown Friendship Club because that don't count. All right, I love you guys. Bye.